There's a TED talk about it actually, and it talks about improvisation and how, like, it's about not trying to kind of control the moment. Just be open. Just be open to how you might feel and what might happen, and that's where magic is.
It is time.
This is from the artist Jahari Stampley. So Jahari Stampley is a Chicago-born pianist, and at the age of 18, he was recognized and being followed by many world-renowned musicians like Yebba Smith, Robert Glasper, Corey Henry, Jacob Collier, Isaiah Sharkey, and a few others. And so this song was actually suggested for you by Bo Coaster of My Morning Jacket, and he also plays with Roger Waters and Ray LaMontagne. And so we're going to be listening to Jahari Stampley from live at the Yamaha Artist Services. Bo actually had a message for you, Bill, and he said that, I'm just curious to see what Bill thinks about Jahari's playing. I find there to be a very innocent, childlike approach, which is juxtaposed with a very deep intellectual understanding and curiosity. I would love to hear how his influences, but how it also feels so fresh. So we're here with Bill Laurance, solo artist and member of Snarky Puppy, and we're listening to Jahari Stampley with Amazing Grace right here on Galaxy Jams Reacts. Letting those tones ring out.
I love the full tones of grand and baby grand pianos. So good. Oh, man.
The mixing's really good too. It's crazy how like gigantic just his piano sounds. Especially when he's not even doing like, something hyper technical right now, but it still sounds great. It sounds so lush. What an interesting rhythm.
One of the things I love about music in general, but especially jazz music too, is when there's a traditional song. We all know Amazing Grace, and how different it can be played through someone's personal interpretation, and it makes it so new every time you hear it, you know? And that's just something I just absolutely love. The other thing I could imagine, like just playing a solo show, how freeing it would be, because you don't have to rely on anybody else. You can go anywhere you want to. You can, express yourself how you want to express yourself. You don't have to give cues to people. I think that would be a really amazing thing to be able to do as a musician doing a solo show. Yeah,
and it also makes me think about Go on, Bill.
Oh, no, go on. No, yeah.
It makes me think about that conversation that we were just having and how you were doing your own solo show. And the more that you're using a lot of toys, the more that you're thinking about the freedom that you're going to have when you strip everything back. And it kind of made me, look at this person that's literally just playing a piano, but it just seems so free. And I'm thinking of all the different toys from all the different artists that we've ever listened to on the show. And it's like all of that can just be expressed with just someone's soul and one simple piano. And it's so amazing how this artist is able to really put his whole song and feeling into a song that everybody already knows anyway.
Yeah, definitely. And like I was saying before too, just as myself as a pianist, touching a baby grand piano or a grand piano as opposed to like a stand-up or even a synth, like I just feel so connected with that instrument when I play it. Like it fills the room.
It's a tactile thing.
It is, and even the sound that comes out of it is just such a warm, filling sound. I don't know. Do you get that same feeling when you mess around with like baby grands or grands, Bill?
100%. Yeah. I mean, I feel very lucky to have kind of ended up playing the instrument that is like undoubtedly the best instrument. It's the most complete instrument, right? To a degree, and like, if you do a degree in music, they kind of tends to be the requirement to have some knowledge of the piano. It's like it's just such a fundamental instrument that allows you to kind of provides the foundation for particularly with composing, and the fact that everything's kind of laid out in front of you. You can just access, and it's so sort of, it makes so much sense. You go that way, it goes down. You go that way, it goes up, and it's all there in front of you. And so I think it's about I feel so lucky to be playing solo shows, and I think going back to your that original point of it is really the most ultimate kind of freedom I've ever experienced, and I have to say I'm kind of addicted to it, because you are able to I guess you're kind of forced to have to access part of your creative self that doesn't really happen when you play it with a trio or with a quartet or anyone else. Like when you're playing solo, you really are able to kind of, it's just it is true freedom, and this guy has that in spades, man. I love how much room he leaves at the beginning. It's just that one note the whole way, and it's just all on the melody, and the kind of purity and simplicity of that allows for then the piece to develop in the way that it does. And he You know, when he starts going out of the key center in those little cheeky little moments, they're glorious when he does it. Yeah, what a wonderful player. But I feel like performing solo is the ultimate sort of experience really on stage. But and in a way, it's almost like you kind of ask yourself to become sort of be removed from the room. It's like you just it's almost like when you're playing solo, it's like you kind of have to let the instrument tell you what to play. It's almost like you're just kind of giving in to the instrument in a way that you don't when you're playing with anyone more than just just by yourself. It's because of the sort of solitary nature of it. There's something really kind of profound about it that means it's just you and the instrument. So you kind of having a conversation together, but there's a profound connection you have with the instrument, and it's because it's such a complete instrument. It's a powerful when it works. It's a really powerful thing.
Thank you for that, Bill. Why don't we jump back in?
Sure.
I feel like he's literally taking us to church right now, and I'm feeling the gospel.
It's like an exam. It looks like there's somebody like writing on the market.
I wonder what they're writing. It's like when you watch boxing and you see the people in front of the ring and they write things down. I'm like, what are they writing?
This guy is amazing.
Yeah.
That's all I'd be able to write. Yeah.
He's playing some notes. Very good. Yeah.
Oh man, so fast.
Broke it down to rudimentary.
I like how it's bringing us all back.
Yeah.
It really is limitless. He can do anything, It's crazy.
If he wants to turn, like if he suddenly decides he wants to stop playing this melody, he can. And it does it's like.
I feel like when you're
Wow.
that fluent in speaking the language, you can't really say it's hard for you to say the wrong thing.
Yeah, quite. It's really just about, as I said before, just kind of like being open to the moment. What I'm trying to get used to now. That was beautiful, man. What an amazing player. I'm trying to get used to now, almost trying to dare myself to get on stage without a set list.
Oh wow.
And because the Colin concert, the Keith Jarrett Colin concert solo piano, ended up being, I think at the time it was the best-selling solo piano record of all time, and the story behind it, how many of your listeners will know this story, but it's an interesting one because he arrived at this venue in Cologne, and it wasn't the right piano, and it was really harsh in a particular register. So he flat out refused to play the show, and the promoter, it was sold out, and the promoter just basically pleaded with him, said, please can you play the show, and eventually persuaded him. So he played this show on this piano that was really brittle sounding. Because it was brittle sounding in a particular register, he just stayed in one part register of the piano, and ended up playing, the first piece is 20 minutes long. He's just sitting in a vamp because it's the only part of the piano that he likes, that he felt inspired to play.
Wow.
And this ends up being the best-selling solo piano record of all time.
How interesting!
So
what a
funny
great
how it
story.
works out like that.
Did he ever
Right.
write? Did he ever in an interview say what he actually thought about that afterwards?
You know what? I haven't actually heard his take on it.
That'd be interesting.
It's yeah, totally. I mean, just the kind of analysis after the fact. There's a TED talk about it actually, and it just talks about improvisation and how, like, it's about not trying to kind of control the moment. Just be open to how you might feel and what might happen, and that's where magic is. And really, it's, as you say, it's like once you kind of have a certain degree of technical facility, what it's about, at least from a solo piano concert performing point of view, is about just kind of good gig in my mind is like when you just kind of are able to access that state of mind very fluently, without kind of letting preconceived ideas of how the gig needs to go, get in the way.
Wow, that's some wonderful insight. I'm gonna have to check that album out.
Hi, this is Mike with Galaxy Jams Reacts. We hope that you enjoyed that React video. Be sure to check out the links below of when we're going to be live streaming our next show and also how to watch full episodes. Please hit that subscribe button. Every single one helps.